Okay, Dispatcher 101 training for beginners, Wednesday evening, September 18th, 2018. Right now it's just myself and Ismail Hassan. Um, Ismail, you were talking to that dry-van carrier,
Yeah. And I was
and
put, yeah.
and did you get them to send you a dispatcher agreement, or?
And I spoke to him, and he told me that he was going to call me like sometime on the weekend. I gave him my number and I told him, hey, yeah, I gave him an introduction of what I do and the community that I am part of. I just told him that I was part of you guys, but I didn't mention the name, and he told me, hey, do you have access to load boards? And I said, yes, I've got access to almost like 10 load boards. And he was a bit excited about that.
Yeah.
And he told me he just wanted to run in, what do you call it, a couple of states, Tennessee, Oklahoma, Dallas.
Right. Right. He doesn't want to run too far. He just not that much over the road, but he just want to stay like regional. Instead of over the road, he wants to be more regional. Okay.
Yeah, semi-regional, yeah.
Okay. Steve.
Hello.
Hey, Steve. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Okay. How's it going with your guy? Or I gave you got access because you're subscription based. You got. Speaking of which, I have a different login for subscription based members of the load board to Internet Truck Stop, and I'll be gradually sharing that with you guys so you can access that load board. Have you had a chance to utilize that, Steve?
No. So the situation with that first carrier, it was just kind of a cluster. Basically he gave me two opportunities to, find something, and, I don't know, on 123 load board and next load, there just wasn't anything that, that was exciting. I didn't have access to that, and so, I've heard, somebody else said that, 123 is good, but man, the only things from the spots where he was at to where he needed to go, it was all just, Coyote logistics junk that was, under $2 a mile, and so I just wasn't able to get him anything, and so he's I haven't even followed up with him. I kind of took a break last week to actually make some money, doing other stuff, and then I'm going to get back and try and find me a new carrier again, since now I have access to that, and hopefully I can do better. That was a practice round, I guess, so.
Okay, I tell you what, let me make a phone call, because I think LaWanda is no longer working with one of my carriers, and he's a reefer, and depending on, we'll see how it goes, and we'll see what's going on with Smooth real quick, because I don't think she's working with him anymore, because she's been so busy doing her own thing. I'm going to put you on speaker. 1 second. Hey, Stephanie.
Hello.
You.
Oh, what's good?
Hey, what's good? I got you in the training tonight, but I just wanted to call and check on you. I don't know if LaWanda, you guys are working together, if your truck is still down or what.
Nah, I ran into a complication, so I'm dealing with that issue as of now.
Okay.
Goddamn DOT, and it's just been a whole damn ball game right now, bro.
Okay, so you're currently down for the moment.
No, like I'm rolling now, but I'm trying to get out the Bronx right quick.
Okay, because I don't.
Hey, what's up? Hold on, I got my GPS and all that stuff on, but I do not want to get caught up in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's going on? What you say is because she's, my GPS is talking, whatever. Anyway, go ahead.
No, I was saying LaWanda. I don't know if she's still if you guys are still working together, or is I know she's doing some power onlys on her
Yeah, she's
own.
doing power. Yeah, she's like focused somewhere else. So I got back into booking my own shit.
Right.
Rolling like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So yeah, I'll reach out to her. I mean, I got other dispatchers who were trained up, but I know you were used to LaWanda doing the thing, but
Yeah, she's still awesome. It's just that, you know, she's making a lot of moves, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
She's making a lot of moves and stuff like that there and stuff. I mean, we chat every now and again. You know what I mean? I hear from her every now and again to keep me updated and stuff like that, but that's primarily it.
Okay.
Yeah, she keep me updated. I hear from her. You know who hear a lot from her?
Who?
Denise.
Okay, so they're probably talking on the women's side. You know how that goes.
Yeah, I know how they go. I don't even want to intervene. I got a friend of mine. I got a friend of mine, and you know I bust it up with her every now and again. But her and Denise talks heavy, so you know what I mean.
Okay.
Yeah, I just step back. So what's good? Hey, you ever get that other power? Not the power only. The direct.
Yeah,
Jones.
I'm still working on a direct freight forwarding contract. I'm still working with IKEA, and I'm still training right now. I was just seeing where you were. If you needed some help with some stuff, I can see if any other dispatches we can put some more eyes on it other than Wanda. I know she's busy, so I have other dispatchers who are trained up that can kind of. I got more than one set of eyes who can look for loads for one particular carrier. So.
Yeah, I'm looking for some knockdown Jones because the economy is ready to go, you know, kaboof in a minute. So, man, this is why I ain't coming out here, bro.
Yeah, so you in the Bronx, so you right in the island. So you just come in.
Yeah. As soon as, exactly.
Okay,
yeah,
so
it's hectic. If you don't pay attention up here, you gotta end up hitting something because they don't give a shit. They don't care.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just saw one recently where a guy just tore a car up in New York trying to bag up down.
Oh, yo, you see that joint? Was it on Facebook?
Yeah,
I
and
see that joint. He knocked down a fire hydrant and everything else, tore the bumper off. Like,
right.
It's signs that, you know, it's signs like literally it'd be like, yo, you can't go down here. You know what I mean? So he probably disregarded and tried to make it anyway, or was in the situation where as though he couldn't back up, so he had to go forward. I get it, but you got to be, you know, you got to look ahead sometimes. Man, matter of fact, you look ahead all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just dropped damn near $3,800 into my unit. I got fresh tires. I got some work on my motor done, and I got my DPF looked at.
So the standard? So okay, let me ask you this first. When are you going to be empty in the Bronx, or are you trying to get? Are you unloading the Bronx? Are you trying to get out sometime soon?
I already dropped in the prison.
So you're trying to get out?
I did a like a partial load to where it's go a little bit go here, a little bit is going up Connecticut, and the last dropped at New Hampshire.
Okay, so you're like over there in like Manchester or something like that, or?
No, I'm still in the Bronx as of now. I just delivered. I got 92 miles to get to Connecticut. That doesn't drop until like 2-something in the morning, and then my other load is I think there's only 14 miles away, so maybe they give me an hour or something. I think it drops like 3 o'clock or something like that.
Okay.
Drop that joint off, and then it's skadoodles to the next one. So I booked something out. Friday. I don't know if I'm gonna go back home and do work on my truck, or should I run over the weekend? You know what I mean? 9 times out of 10, I'll probably run over the weekend. Like, I'm not sure right now, but you know, I was Monday and Tuesday. I was home.
Now, are you getting anything over the weekend? I mean, I'm sure like Uber Freight maybe.
Uber, I just had 2 loads from them joker faces.
Yeah.
They screwed me over.
Okay, so we're not going to mess with Uber. Okay.
No, I don't have an issue dealing with Uber. It's just like, every day can't be a bright and sunny shine, where the clouds and the birds are singing. It's not, every day is not going to be like that. You're going to have some hang-ups. You're going to have some bad days, and that day was just happened to be my day. You know what I mean? But nothing's wrong with Uber. I got nothing personal against them.
What's the are the rates? What are the rates looking like out there? Because I haven't spoken to you in a while.
Yeah, I know. I was like, damn, he MIA.
When I say I've been busy, bro, I've been busy.
Ain't nothing wrong with it, man. I'm trying to invest in another truck. I'm getting into movies now. You know what I mean?
Okay. So what are the rates looking like for the reefers out there? Are they above $2? Are they $2.50? Close to $3? What are they looking like?
It's all comparing to who you're dealing with right now. You could get some for like Coyote. I had to stop messing with them because they want to give a dude $1.30 a month. Oh no, fam, I'm cool.
Yeah, one of the individuals who's on the train.
Cut the GPS off so I can hear you real good. Just give me one moment.
Yeah. Steve, are you?
Pretty much.
Yeah, I'm doing training live while I'm talking to you too. So.
Yeah, no issues.
Yeah. I was talking to one of the trainees. Steve mentioned something about Coyote, so their rates are kind of crazy right now. Steve, are you still with us?
Man.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I had to fall. If he get a truck and he think that he gonna make some money with Coyote, he gonna have another thing coming because ain't nobody gonna pull that shit.
Yeah.
And you gotta pay the dispatch. Ain't nobody. Well, at least I'm not. I've been dealing with some. Who the hell I got? Uber. I've been dealing with a couple other guys, but I've been at the. I mean, the most of the time I be at the crib because I'm not coming out there for no bull stuff.
Right.
I'm not gonna run my truck for that. You kidding me? I stay home. I eat what I want. Now I gotta eat all that greasy ass food and everything else.
Yeah, those you got some people in the training who know you. They recognize your voice. They say, "Who is that? Smooth?" I said, "Yeah, it's Smooth." so
hey, how everybody doing, man?
Everybody saying what's up to
but
you.
it's been especially with this I don't know how each person feels individually. Everybody have their own point of views, but since old guy got into the office, the race has been dropping a lot. If you don't believe me, look at the scale.
Right.
The race has been dropping a lot because he done knocked off the China thing. Is a lot of policies. They in the trade war right now, and that trickles down to the last person in line, and that's the truck driver.
Right. Now, let me ask you this, because I know you're out there a lot. Are you coming across carriers who may have a need, from what you gather, help from a dispatcher? Do you have anybody that you may know?
I mean, I know a couple drivers, but they mind is pretty much set on what they doing, and my mind is set on what I'm doing. So we cool. We sit down, we chop it up, we bust it up. We have a couple laughs and things like that. But when it comes to business, we go our separate ways. So I don't put energy into it. I'm doing my thing, they doing their thing, and I keep it pushing.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Whatever decision they decide is best for them, so well be it.
I tell you what, if ever you're in a conversation with one and they happen to come up and say, "Hey man, do you know any dispatchers out there?" If they happen to ask that, just
I run your stuff across to them. I don't have an issue with that.
Yeah, because I wanna start pushing some of my the people who are training under me, giving them some trucks, some carriers to start finding loads for. So
yeah, they gonna have to be on a job because it's like they can't, they can do whatever they want. They're their own person. However, like the Coyote loads and the low ball ass loads, the way as though you running crazy as hell, you burning your engine up, you burning your fuel up. Guys are not going to do it. At least I'm not.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So they gotta have maybe a certain connect, and then connect the dots to where as though they can make 3,000 on this load, come back with 1,500 on this load,
right.
Run a truck up here on this load. What will be a magical thing? Let me tell you what will be a magical thing, right?
Okay.
I know broker's giving up about 45, anywhere from 38 to 4,500 right now.
Okay.
Right now. Now, here's the thing. They go the majority of them lows are going out Florida, though.
Right. So they're going into, see, and I'm glad everybody's hearing you say this. Number one, they're getting a realistic view from a carrier, right, of what's going on out here. Number two, you just said it's paying good going to Florida, but getting out of Florida is the problem.
Exactly. Look, I'm looking at this goddamn clown.
Yeah. So that's the problem, getting out of Florida. So your average may not make up. You may go into Florida at 38 to 4,500, so that may be like over $3 a mile, but you may come out for like $1 and some change. So you know.
Exactly. But if you can get like maybe close to this is okay. I'm on 278. Hold on for a minute, because New York always confuses me. 278 expressway. I'm jumping on this joint anyway. I'll just work my way around from there. If you can get if you can get out of what state we was talking about?
Florida.
Yeah. If you can get a truck out of Florida, and I'm gonna give you a key. A key is the skids coming out there. If you can find a company that's giving skids that will give that truck about $300 to $400 to pull them skids from up out of there, you're good.
Right.
Like, you're good. Because I will go for that. I'll be like, all right, well, I can use that fuel money. I can use that little bit of fuel money. Damn, this thing is ridiculous.
Now, what about also too? I've heard, and I've been known to do it sometimes. What about going only into Florida a certain ways down, so you can deadhead your way up to like maybe Atlanta, so you won't lose too much on fuel. But if you go down to Miami,
yeah, but I mean, what's the deadhead on the ATL? You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Because it's 300-400 miles. A lot of guys are not going to go for it. I mean, I would if it's paying a lot, because you know me.
Right.
You've been knowing me for a long time now.
Right.
You know what I mean? But a lot of guys are not going to go for it. You understand what I'm saying?
Correct.
So you got to have something in Florida. If you can work out something that's in Florida, like this kids, that can go up and get you close to Georgia, get you close to the surrounding states, like you good. Shit, I run a lane.
So I got one of my trainees ask, and I'll let you explain. What are skids?
Oh, those are like the wooden pilots. They call pilot skids. That product sits on.
So just the empty pallets.
Just the empty pilots.
Okay, so
they cut a check for like maybe $300 to $400, but it helps out in fuel. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, so no freight, just a whole truckload of skids.
Just a whole load of skids.
Okay, all right.
You know what I mean? What is skids? You're like they done took the product off of it. You're taking it wherever to get it reloaded. You just drop them and move on with life.
Right, giving them back their empty skids so they can start over again.
Exactly, and they just keep recycling and recycling and recycling. You know what I mean? So if you can book a load doing that and get dude as close to Georgia or wherever surrounding states to where so you can get freight out of there, then you're all good. Like the first thing you driver here in Florida, let me rephrase that. I'm sorry. Any driver that knows what he's doing here, you run him down to Florida, he'd be like, oh no, hell no. Like, you got something coming out of there? You'd be like, yeah, I got something coming out there. I'll bet. He'd be all for it because he could go down for the $3,800 to $4,000 and come up, spend that on fuel. So, therefore, he still got that $3,800 to $4,000 in his pocket.
Right, so
he just burn that $400 up, and then he grab another load from out of Georgia or whatever, surrounding states. Then you all good.
Right, so from a dispatcher's perspective, it's good to become familiar with what states you're going to send your carriers to, whether or not those states will be good for them to get out of as well. It's
similar to a game of chess. Like, you got to see stuff ahead of time. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Look at this fool. This is why I hate New York sometimes. It's like playing the game of chess. You got to see your moves because it upsets a guy like me. I'll cut a dude off immediately. Get me stuck somewhere that I have to deadhead about 400 miles. Our business venture is done.
Right.
It's done. And there's a lot of guys that's like that. I mean, you know, like you're paying $400 or $500 for fuel. Like that's not no cakewalk. $400 or $500, I could do a lot with that. Shit.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? So you're not gonna like it. Or explain to him, lay all your cards on the table. Explain to him what's the move. 9 times out of 10, he's gonna be with you if he can make shit. Just by myself, I done did 6,500. By myself, well, I gross that in. We're not counting fuel, okay?
Right.
But 6,500, I did that by myself. So if I know I can do it, I know damn well y'all can do it. If y'all sitting at home in front of the computer, it's just studying, it's picking up the phone, it's calling people, seeing what you can set up.
Exactly.
Go online and find out some shippers, even talk to other brokers. Just don't go with the big names because the big names doesn't pay too much. It be them little itty-bitty companies that's willing to pay, but their credit is not up there yet. So if you're willing to take a chance on them and them cash you out, start, you know what I mean? You can do it like that. Start hollering at factoring companies. Start talking to those guys. Get dug in. Start doing your research and studying. The more research you have and what you know will make you that more powerful.
Right. And see, I'm glad you're saying all that. You're teaching class tonight, whether you know it or not. because look, it's good to get real world experience from a real live carrier, and you're giving us vantage points that we need to hear as dispatchers. Like the larger brokers ain't paying that well, and it's good to go with the smaller brokers who don't have as good credit, but if you give them a chance, they'll be willing to pay you for that load, because what they're trying to do, they're trying to build their credit up by booking loads in their brokerage. So how are they going to do that? Right, so how are they going to do that? Right, they put the loads out there, you run those loads, you're taking a chance too, the carrier may be taking a chance too, but the broker's taking a chance, they're paying you, they're building their credit up because they're trying to keep up with the big boys. The big boys can afford to take risks, to take chances, to give you, to lowball you because they're making the money. Those little ones cannot afford that because they're trying to build their credit up.
Exactly. So you know, usually a driver got a factoring company, they or she, you know, this is you know, I'd say female drivers too. So he or she has a factoring company that will cash them out within 24 hours. I will be calling those guys too, getting knowledge and understanding of what's going on. You understand what I'm saying? Because those guys, my factoring company, they've been around for a really long time. You
still got Foley's?
Yeah, I still bang with them.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they never did me wrong. I could go up there and get I don't do it, but I could go to them and get cash advances and everything. Right. So my factoring company, I mean, I was with these guys with Greater Day, and I brought Loyal Breed over to them. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So we have a history. Right. You understand what I'm saying? And plus, my monthly numbers they be quite up there. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, man, I appreciate this lesson you're giving us tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it's all from, like, I done lost a lot of money dealing with a lot of, you know who I'm talking about, too.
Right. We're not gonna say no names.
We don't get into names and all that, but I lost a lot of money in dealing with the wrong people, man. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Make it your business not to become one of those people. Not just me, but for any driver. Like, you want your name good on, you know, because drivers they talk and they pass information, and you know, next thing you know, somebody's calling saying Mr. or Mrs. such and such, such gave me you know, your number, can you help me out? Boom, you got a truck right there.
Right. There you go.
You know what I mean?
It's all about the relationship, and I try to, when I train, I try to put the trainees, these students, onto the learning curve, because you know, I deal with carriers we've been around the block a few times, so we kind of know. You know.
Oh, yeah, and just don't, like, I had this problem with my wife. My wife, she's like a sweetheart, okay? She's really, really, really nice. But sometimes niceness doesn't work in this type of business. You got to be, you know, you got to be kind of hard sometimes. I think the word you're looking for is like assertive. Yeah, that's exactly the word I was looking for. Look at this clown. Unbelievable. You gotta, come on, fam. This is how people get hit. This is why I don't like coming into New York, man.
So you...
yeah, before I forget what I'm saying, they taking my train of thought off. just don't take, my wife, they used to be like, okay, we give you 1,800. She'd be like, okay. I said, no, you gotta, if they willing to just throw 1,800 out there, you gotta muscle them a little bit. You
right,
know what I mean?
Negotiate.
And try to shoot up $200 or $300 because once you shoot up that $200 or $300, that's more money you make.
Right. So 1,800. If they post it for 1,800, you say like 25, and then they meet you in the middle at 22.
Yeah. You one of the guys that showed me how, how that type of line of work works.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Just don't take that first thing that they dropping on you. You know what I mean? You got to go in there and at least sound like you know what you're talking about.
Yeah, at least.
well, my driver, because they need you to help them move that freight. So I done seen brokers make almost $0 just to get rid of the load. I got one of those. Who was it? It was Uber.
Right.
I got it. We going to give it, and they called me, and I hear the intensity in their voice, like they're trying to get rid of this load. So, well, how much y'all want for it? We give you $11.50. You know what? I can't even do it for that. We can do it for $15 though. Well, $14.50. No, 15 even. All right, and they say okay just to get rid of the load.
Right.
You got to muscle them. You got to fill them out. You got to, you know what I mean? It's like an art. Dispatchers and brokers are, y'all gifted. You know what I mean?
Right.
But don't, be cordial. Don't be an asshole. Nobody likes dealing with an asshole. You know what I mean? Be cordial, but be firm in what you're saying and what you're demanding. Because the money that you don't get from them, that's the money that they make.
That's
they
right.
Put it right in their pockets
there
and don't
you
give
go.
a shit about you.
I'm glad you said that. Can you please repeat that?
The money that you miss is the money that they keep for themselves.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, like say for instance, if it's $1,000 and they give it to you for, let's say, even number, make it real simple, $800. They made $200 that they keep for themselves. But if you muscle them a little bit for maybe $50 or another $100, that's more money you make, and that's more money that they don't make off of it. You know what I mean? So the lower that they can get you down, the more money that they make off of it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So they trying to muscle you back. But you have the available truck, and they have to meet a quota, and maybe after every week or maybe after every month. Those one thing about a freight brokerage company, they deal with stuff by bulk. Okay, so not only is she dealing with you, but maybe she has to move at least 15 other loads.
Yeah.
Just to make her quota, or
Right.
they can lose the contract. They don't like losing contracts.
Right. There you go.
And then they got to get that money that the shipper or whoever gave to them. They got to come back home, baby.
Right.
And you lose your contract.
Right. There you go.
You see what I'm saying? So you get that with you knowing this.
Right.
That gives you leverage.
There you go. There you go.
You see what I'm saying? You want the best position that you could be in. You ain't not in it to make fresh. You're in it to make money.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? You be cool. I'm cool with a lot of brokers, but I don't trust their ass.
So now once the dispatcher, the independent dispatcher, once we realize that, it gives, it puts us at an advantage. But we have to realize it, and we have to train up to being able to negotiate and get the best rates for our carriers. So.
Yeah, because if you come and do what I had this one guy, he was from Coyote. Man, the guy got real cool. But he like, Smooth, yo, I need some help. I'm like, all right, well, what's up? Talk to me. I got a load. Okay, what's up? It's paying $130. $130 to the truck. Wait a minute. I might take a L on that. I say, okay, I'll make a deal with you. I bought a load for the $130, but what you got coming back, it got to be a knockdown. Oh, I got you. I said, all right, he gaming me and I'm gaming him. Not a problem, right?
Right.
So he come back with $1.75. My man, if you don't get that shit up out of here, I'm cool. You gotta get somebody else to do that shit.
Now let me ask you a question from a so the dispatch can hear this. What is your line haul? What is your break even? What is your break even cents per mile going out, and what's your break even cents per mile coming back? So you know that you got to be at least at this rate going out and at least this rate coming back, so at least you break even, if not make a profit. What's the numbers for that?
I try to stay over $2 a mile. Anything else is a plus.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Since the rates are kind of flim-flam right now. So $2 a mile, I'll run it for $2 a mile. Anything under that I got to cut a deal to where as though, what am I getting? Let's do a loop-de-loop. Let's do like a hula hoop. Let's do like a round trip, John. Okay? I go out there for this little bitty tatter, but when I come back, I make something awesome. I can go for that. You know what I mean? So I know I'm walking away with like 4 to 5 stacks off of that one load. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean? But if you getting $1.30 going out and $1.30 coming back, man, you done wasted your time. You about to stay home and play with the kids. Fuck.
And you're losing money because you got expenses. You got fuel, you got tires, you got maintenance, insurance, you got all these.
Bro, I just put yesterday, all right? I was stranded. I'm not stranded, but I was getting work done on the truck. 2 brand new steer tires. Just 2 of them ran me $1,145. You think I got time to be playing with a broker or a dispatch?
Right.
Hell no.
Right.
I just dropped 11.45 in my truck.
Right.
And I ain't done yet. I just did all the filters. That ran me another 150.
And see, that's all a part of your operating expenses.
Hell yeah. So I got this load right here. I took this load because it paid 18. You see what I'm saying? So I didn't lose anything. If my wheel alignment's done, the tires are fresh to death. I only made $800 off. $700 and some change off of this load. You know, because I got to put back that $1,000 that I ain't lose it, but that I invested, we're going to say.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So all that, and then the breakdowns, I had my reservoir went out on me. They wanted $500 and something. I found it at the dealership for like $2 something, but still, that was $275 out of my pocket.
Right.
Then I had to pay the guy to put the shit on. I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, I fix little stuff, but the big stuff, I can't do it.
Right. So it's all a part of the cost. It's all a part of the cost of doing business, right? Running the company. Yeah.
Yeah. So you gotta be tight because you don't know what's further up. You know what I mean? A breakdown, blowing a tire. I mean, tires can run you anywhere from $385 to $800. Just according to where if you pop a tire in the Bronx, oh my God, they're gonna charge you up.
Right.
They gonna charge you something decent. Is where you at. I was in California. They wanted $1,700 for 2 tires. Don't think so. Round my way, you can get them for $700.
Right.
They wanted $1,700. So it's according to where you break down at, and what's going on, and so on and so forth.
Wow.
Yeah, man. So I'm just trying to get a dedicated lane right now, man. That's what I'm hoping and I'm scouting for right now. This way, I ain't got to deal with a whole bunch of brokers, and what I mean. I know where I'm going. I know where I'm picking up. I know what time I got to be there. And,
right. So
shit like that.
Remember the talk we had a while back. Why not try to create and we can use a dispatcher to help you with that. We can try to create a dedicated lane, something that's going to one and we'll base it coming out of your home state like Philly, coming out of Philly, going to a state like the Midwest is paying well going over and then paying well coming back. That could be kind of a dedicated, like a round trip kind of thing. We just got to figure out. Remember we were talking about that triangular thing or that?
Yeah, I remember that conversation.
Yeah.
I remember that joint. I remember that.
So
it's according to what you trying to what they can put together. You know what I mean? They supposed to know that stuff way better than myself.
Right. So we gotta find brokers who have good paying lanes going from let's say, for example, coming out of Philly or within a certain deadhead in Philly, 50-mile radius or whatever, and then going to a state that we know that we can get freight coming back to Philly for your specific equipment type, which is a reefer. So that's how we can set up. And that's how you dispatch, basically. You set it up like that.
Yeah, have everything, all your T's and because I'm telling you, it's a BITCH getting stuck to where it's though. Remember the time I got stuck? I think I was somewhere in Texas, and there was no loads, nowhere, none whatsoever. You remember that?
Is that the time you actually drove back? Is that the time you drove all the way back, or you didn't? You didn't find anything.
I had to do maybe a 400-mile dead end. I was like, oh man, then it was nothing in that area, nothing at all.
Right. Right.
You see what I'm saying? I got stranded. You know what I mean? So to get a load, I had to deadhead probably like 400 miles. 400 miles that came up to like maybe almost $325 in fuel that I didn't, I didn't get nothing off of.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it just came out of the load that I did before then, and that knocked my money down a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
When are you going to be? When are you going to be empty on this load? This Friday or something, or?
Yeah, like maybe like a Friday evening, Friday morning. It's going to how long I'm going to be setting, how long they going to take to get to unload me. It's a lot of factors.
Oh yeah, that's another good point I need to ask you too. So when you're in a drive-in or a reefer and you pull up to a shipper or a receiver, the amount of time it takes to unload and load a truck on average is what, 1 to 3 hours?
By the rules and regulations, you got to give them 2 hours. Some entities say 3. We need 3 hours. You understand what I'm saying? Just to get you unloaded. And after that, you got to start clocking in that detention time for the drivers. You got to, it's all about communication. You know what I mean? Keep me posted when they start unloading you, and you'll jot that time down. Anything over that, because I've been held up in some spots for about 5 hours. So, therefore, what I charge is $50 an hour. So I had to give them the 3, and I made $100 from off of the detention time for the extra 2 hours.
Right. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you was
familiar with detention?
Of course,
Okay.
you were nice with it, because I know some truckers are charged anywhere between $75 and $100 an hour in detention.
Yeah, it's all according to how pissed off they make me.
Yeah. So you could.
Sometimes I hit them with $100 bill or a $75 bill. You know what I mean? It's all according to how mad they made me. So talk to me nice.
Now I understand that some brokers may put detention pay within the rate.
They try to pull that shit. I got like that one time. You know what I mean? They gave me I think $35 a joint. All right, we done.
Right.
Because you know damn well y'all made way more money off of my truck. Off of that detention, because y'all filed the paperwork for it. So in actuality, they probably got $75 for the shit or $100 an hour for the shit, but decide to give me $35. No, I'm done. I ain't mess with them since.
Right. Now,
I ain't mess with them since.
You said you're going to be empty in New Hampshire on Friday?
Yeah, I think my last stop is New Hampshire. I got to look at these bumps killing me. I got to look at my Raycon again.
Yeah, because I was thinking like Manchester, Concord, somewhere up there.
I want to, what I want to get popping, but like I said, the rates ain't up there like they used to be. I was getting like damn near almost $9,000 to $10,000 for coming from California. They dropped down to $7,000 now. You know what I mean? So if they can get in with a company that does coast to coast, and you get paid big money off of that shit right off the top.
So you got $10,000 on a load coming out of California with a reefer?
Hell yeah.
How many?
Yeah, but it gotta be the season for it.
Right.
Like
And
produce season is going on right now.
Right.
So I gotta find something else to do.
So for that load, how many picks and drops was that load for that 10,000?
One pick, one drop.
1 and 1?
It was going from California, I forget what city, but it was going up to Boston. It's the boys I deal with, the boy Mike and them. I introduced you to them, remember?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I done been to so many people now, man. You probably did.
Yeah. I forget the name of the company. I probably have to text it to you because I haven't dealt with them in a while because I stopped doing California because the rates dropped. So if I could do, by the time everything, pan out, I go to California, come back, I could end up with like $5,000. What the fuck? I could do that right here.
Right.
I could do $5,000 right where I am on that because my division is the highest paying division. The Northeast corridor, we the highest paying division.
And see, that's another. So from a dispatcher's perspective, that's another good thing to know. For a reefer in the Northeast corridor of the country, is paying the most for a reefer. That's what you're saying.
No, I'm saying with any trailer type.
Okay.
Northeast corridor gonna pay more.
Okay, so
flatbed, especially flatbed, they like top of the line guys over there. So you're really gonna make something bank off a flatbed.
So, and is that because of it's the area, the tolls, and all that other stuff? People don't want to go up there and all that.
People, a lot of California guys don't like it over here. So I go to their part of town to tear their ass up and pray. Yeah, but they don't like coming over here, so it's kind of hard to find a dude that's willing to run the Northeast Corridor. I live here, so I've been dealing with this traffic my whole damn life.
Now, what about, one of my students is asking, what about, okay, one asks, is it apple season yet? And another asks, what about the tolls?
I mean, I just got 4 tolls. I just ran a toll and got stopped by a cop. So I was coming into the George Washington Bridge and shit, and my didn't go off, so I gotta look into that. But I got 3 tickets here. I mean, tolls are tolls. Like the 76 running east and west, that's like the highest toll, and the turnpike. Everything else is pretty much cakewalk.
So I-76 both ways is the worst, basically.
76 running that PA Turnpike.
Right.
That I ran that from Ohio down to my hometown. Shit, that joke ran me like damn near $200, like $210.
Wow.
Yeah. And the turnpike is not as bad as the PA Turnpike, but it can get high. Like, if I'm coming from New York, I got to take the turnpike to run down to get to my hometown or to get in PA, so I got to take that route to get over the bridge. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So, I try to take a little shortcuts to where I take this exit off here and take 295, because 295 is free. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, I take care of that like that. And what was that other question?
Is it apple season yet?
I think I pulled some apples. I think that season over. The last load I had of produce was watermelon.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I just dropped that off. Almost got ripped off on the load. The customer didn't want 120 watermelons. I'm like, yo, you're not serious. You gotta take your stuff. He like, I ain't taking it. I'm like, all right, cool. So I called the broker. Like, listen, we have an overage. The customer won't take it. So he's like, all right, well, just stay on the door. Stay on the door? No, fam, I got shit I got to do. I got another load after you, so you got to figure out what you're going to do, or else I'm going to throw the shit out the trunk. Like, you have to talk to who you need to talk to. So I came up off the door. And I'm like, damn, I'm scheduled for this other load. How the hell I'm going to get 120 watermelons off my truck? That's heavy. Yeah, 120. I had to take 5 of them to the head. 5 of them went home with me, though. They were really good. Anyway, I ran into the other shipper, and I was like, could you move these watermelons out, put my load on, and then, put the watermelons back on there? He's like, why, you don't want them? I was like, hell no, I don't want them. He's like, I'll take them all. I said, bet.
Right.
And that's how I got rid of them little watermelons. I don't know if he sold them to a pig farm. Honestly, I ain't give a shit. They was off of my truck.
Right.
So I was like, hold up, fam, one right up in the bucket, grab like 5 of them joints, do them joints right on the phone.
So you said New Hampshire Friday is going to be empty then.
Yeah, I should be. It's according to what Niecy got going on and all this type of shit. She's trying to bring her daughters into it, which, I mean, no disrespect, but I need somebody to know what they're doing. You understand what I'm saying? I don't want to, take L's off of inexperience.
You
have to know what you're doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? You have to know everybody got bills to pay. You have to know what you're doing. So what I wanted to do is buy a little cab over, throw a guy in there, and let them practice on him. Okay.
I'm looking at a load in Seabrook, New Hampshire, going to Tennessee for 2,500. It's 22,000 pounds. It's 968 loaded miles. I'm just, as an example, just looking at it on the load board here.
If you can, that 900 miles usually go for about $3,000.
Yep.
So knowing that, you would try to get them as close. They know the load is worth about $3,000 for 900 miles. They're trying to give you 28. So therefore, out of that 900 miles, you're going to blow at least I say about 700 in fuel alone, right? That's what the truck is going to do.
Right.
You're gonna try to get them as close to $3,000. They may not give you the $3,000, but I guarantee you they're gonna come off for maybe 200 and under. So that'll be more to the kitty, and it makes it look more appetizing to the driver.
Right, because right now as it's saying, Seabrook, New Hampshire to Alcoa, Tennessee, 22,500 pounds, 968 miles, and 2,500. That's $2.58 a mile.
Right. But that weight also count. You say 22,000 miles?
Yeah, 22,500.
I'm sorry. I said 22,000 miles. I meant 22,000 pounds.
Yeah, 22.5. Yeah.
Okay, so being though that load is that light, they may not move on it too much. You understand what I'm saying? They say, well, this is a light load. He's not going to burn that much fuel, and that's their excuse to stay at that 28 or whatever, 25, whatever you know, the price was. Because the load is so light, it's only 22,000 pounds. That's not heavy to a semi at all.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's like running almost damn near running empty. You understand what I'm saying? So they're going to try to use that as an excuse, and you just got to muscle and go, debate with them. Like, if you're a good debater, a good debater, then you'll be excellent at your job.
Oh, yeah. So I'll probably hit like 3,000, and they come down to 2,700. So meet me in the middle kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. You want to try to get as much as possible. Number one, you're going to make more money off of it. Number two, it makes it look more appetizing to the driver.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because, the rates are shitty, and you come up there, hey, I got a load for 2850, 2750. Folks be like, yeah, where's it going? All right, bet. All right, I'm in that area. I'm going to go pick that up. Give me the pickup numbers and where, the whole enchilada. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you got to make it look appetizing. If giving out chicken bones and the meat is already gone, what the fuck what I'm going to eat?
Yeah.
I don't like bone marrow. That's bullshit.
So let's see here. Let me see. Does anybody? I'm gonna see if anybody have any questions before you, because I know I don't want to keep you too long.
Nah, man, I got 74 miles to do. I ain't doing nothing but driving, bro.
And they say drive. You guys like to talk, right?
Yeah, man. She just made my day. Niecy at work, So y'all definitely occupied my time for the last 20 miles.
Yeah. Let me see. Anybody got any questions to Smooth? Type it in the chat box, and I'll mention it to them. Let's see. Somebody said here, tow runner. Oh, are fuel prices on the rise? Are they over? They're close to $4 a mile. What are fuel prices now for diesel?
I mean, because of that explosion in that country, whatever that country was, I only seen it on the news briefly. The diesel prices are going to rise. They're going to soar, okay, because of that. Now, here's the way you kind of dip out of that. In the southern states, we could be $4. They may be like, I don't know, $2.75, $2.80, $3 or somewhere around there.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So you want to push your trucks in them southern states because fuel is cheaper down there.
Yeah.
Texas, Louisiana. I've seen some, and then it's according to how the driver is moving. Like, if you're dealing with Pilot, Flying J, TA, who else is out there? Loves. If you're dealing with these 2 to 4 big ass entities, everything is higher. But if the driver know how to dip and go to them little mom and pop joints, you know what I mean, and fill up there for maybe $2.60. That was a big bump. So maybe $2.65, then it kind of cushions the blow a little bit. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but if you deal with Pilot and all that type of stuff, then he's going to be spending a lot of money on fuel, but that you don't have nothing to do with that. That don't come out your money. I wouldn't worry about it too much, but to make your truck do numbers to where so he's happy, I will push them. Excuse me. I will push them south.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And just keep them running out of there. You know how much local stuff that you can do in Texas? a lot. I heard the air wasn't that good anymore, but whatever. Push him down there and have him do a lot of local stuff where though he gets 600, 700, 800. By the time everything's said and done, he'd have made 6,500 in a week.
Wow.
But you got to set up your loads. Like this load is set up to where though I dropped in the Bronx, right? I dropped this at 2 in the morning, and then at Friday, I drop it again at, I think, 3 or 3:30, 4 in the morning. So, therefore, I picked up the load today. I ran it. Hold on. I picked up the load today. I ran it. I completed the load, and I still got room for Friday.
Right.
If you get your driver a load that pick up today, delivers tomorrow. Pick up today, delivers tomorrow. Pick up today, delivers. Eventually, he's not going to be making any money. You got to set up load, and he got to be on point. He got to pull his weight too. You got to set up loads that pick up today and drop like 2, 3 in the morning. So therefore, you can catch him and get him another load soon as the brokers open up. Because they open up what, Charles, like 9 o'clock?
Yeah, depending on what East Coast.
Soon as they open up, man, you on the phone, I got a truck available, and making that truck do numbers. You know what I mean? That's all part of the game, I guess.
Yeah.
I never was a dispatch before though.
Yeah. Well, you sounded like one. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Any other questions for Smooth? I got Smooth live on the line. Smooth is one of my carriers, my beginner carriers when I first started dispatching, and he's been sticking with me for a long time. He had his equipment type is a reefer, a 53-foot refrigerated trailer on his tractor, where you keep, a reefer is a trailer that has a TCU attached to it. It's called a temperature control unit. It keeps the freight pre-cooled to a certain temperature according to what the broker on that particular load dictates in the rate con or whatever. And he's a 53-foot reefer owner-operator based out of Pennsylvania. He's real good at what he does. Can't say the same for the truck sometimes, but
yeah, man. We done had our fault. This is my second wife. We done had some falling outs.
Yeah, so
you know what I mean?
But as far as the carrier dispatch relationship, we have one that's been going on for a long time. So we're good. Someone asked, what is a CPM? CPM is an acronym. It stands for cents per mile.
The CPM,
yeah, cents per mile. So I got one of my students says, Ishmael says, he says, I hear there's too much maintenance on the reefer.
He said it's what?
Too much maintenance on the reefer.
Service?
Yeah, service. Yeah, service. Ishmael.
What I do, if it's something that's out of my league, I have to take it to the shop. But I do my own, my oil changes. I do my own filters. I do everything myself. So it kind of takes you go to a shop, it's going to be high. You know what I mean? So to take a lot of that price, I just go on YouTube. I learned everything from YouTube. All the mechanic stuff I learned from YouTube.
Right.
You know what I mean? Go on YouTube, get your tools, go out there and fix it. So it's not complicated.
Right.
You know what I mean? But if it's something out of your league, you're going to have to go to the shop.
Right. So by doing that, you save money. Some of the small stuff you fix yourself, you save on the repairs because mechanics are going to charge you like more than what it's worth.
Usually, 9 times out of 10, the owner-operator, 9 times out of 10, he works on his own truck to a certain degree. You know what I mean? To a certain degree. As far as the reefer unit, I'd rather be doing reefer than these guys are dying right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are dying. I paid $35,000 for this one. I could have picked up a box for about 15 and had less of a bill. But with the reefer unit, you can do dry and frozen. You understand what I'm saying? So the trailer is universal. I was looking for more of universal for the trailer to be more universal. So if I'm in an area and it's dry freight there and it can be loaded on the reefer, I can get that load. If I'm in an area what's frozen or refrigerated, I can get that load. You know what I mean? You can't put everything on a flatbed. You can't put everything on a dry van.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and plus, I was looking at it from an economy standpoint. Who don't eat?
Right.
Who doesn't?
Right.
So therefore, food will always be moving, whether it's tuna fish, not tuna fish, whether it's chicken or whatever. I made a killer Thanksgiving. You
Right.
kidding me?
Right.
Yeah, I made a killer. The only thing I was moving was turkey.
So what you're saying is, so I'm gonna put it in perspective so the dispatchers can kind of understand it. What he's saying is you have to know what commodity that's out there for the equipment type that's going to generate the most money for your carrier, so you can in turn make money as well. So if you understand that, and in this case, Smooth has a reefer, so the commodity that's out there now, that's moving all the time. It's like the poultry, all the types of food, there's all beverages in some cases that's moving, that you can keep your reefer carrier that you have under agreement running so that you guys can make money. So you always choose the commodities that are always out there that's moving so that you can align your carrier up in those lanes to make that money.
Yep.
So.
And go with a lot of now, like I said before, like your specialty, in my opinion, of course, is flatbed. Like you know a lot about flatbed. You would know where to send a flatbed truck. You would know what type of equipment that he needs. If you just got a flatbed, no chains, no straps, no tarp, and all, you know what I mean?
Right.
You know that lane. So just whatever you. Just study your lane. If you like reefer, you can study them all, but you're probably gonna be like really good at one. You know what I mean? Study that and just use your strengths. That's all.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I got someone who just tuned in. She says, I'm in the process of learning how to, you might can relate to this one, Smooth. I'm in the process of learning how to dispatch so I can dispatch loads for my husband and others. Do you recommend using one of these training courses advertised? What training courses, Latrice? Because right now you are actually tuned in to a training course.
Yeah.
But the reason why I said you can relate to this, Smooth, because you guys are a husband-wife team,
Right. My wife, she used to do that, and I'm gonna keep it 100% real with you. Like I said before, my wife, she did it, but she used to work for Landstar, but it's just not her calling. You have to be a certain breed to get into this field, to get into this line of work. You know what I mean? My wife, she went with she works for like some science stuff up what's the name of her job? Red Cross.
Okay.
She actually works for the government, and honestly, I'm glad it worked out that way because I got some medical benefits.
There you go.
You see what I'm saying? But it's really, she know how to do it, but it's not her passion. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
If you take a topic and it's somebody's passion, then they're going to be really good at it.
So let me help answer Latrice's question for her, because she was saying about she ran across a few dispatching training courses on YouTube. Probably one of them was mine, the Exodus training. I'll say this, Latrice, and everybody else who's a guest tuning in who can hear this. If you have an interest in being an independent freight dispatcher, get with a program, whether it's mine or another one, and I'll recommend this, even if it's not through me, if it's somebody else, but whatever one you get with, make sure that they're going to teach you the very basics of what it is that you're doing as far as dispatching. The first thing you need to do as a dispatcher, you need to understand the equipment types, the lanes, the way things work from a dispatching perspective. So when you do finally get a carrier under a dispatch agreement, you'll have that jargon in your head and you'll have an understanding of what it is. Because if you get a carrier, you say, hey, I just started a dispatching company and I need a carrier. I get a carrier. And they'll say, hey, yeah, you can dispatch to me, but you have little knowledge of what it is that you're doing. You're going to send your carrier all over the place and not really understand what that is. And then not only that, what happens when you find a load or you try to find a load, you have no understanding of how to navigate a load board. Then even if you do, when you find a load, you call the broker, you have no understanding what that dialogue is all about, talking back and forth to the broker, things like that, getting the rate confirmation.
They use a lot of funny language, too. It takes some getting used to, but you can catch on pretty quick.
Right, so that's why I need to get back to it. I used to call brokers live in the trainings just to practice so everybody can hear me talk to them and see what the dialogue was back and forth between the broker and I. I used to call carriers live in the trainings so everybody can hear that dialogue. So when you're trying to pitch to a carrier, because basically when you're calling the carrier, let's do it in two ways from a dispatcher's perspective. And now I'm glad you're on the phone too, Smooth.
Yes, sir.
From a dispatcher's perspective, when you first get in, when you call the carrier, this is what a carrier wants to hear. Okay, you want to dispatch for me. What makes you different than all these other 5,000 dispatchers? What can you provide for me that's different than any other dispatcher or that I can possibly do myself? So now you're going to have to, you're going to have to honestly be able to answer that question. And if you can't answer that question, you just put yourself behind the 8 ball.
Yeah, the best answer is, okay, who find your lows? I find my lows myself. I can find lows that you can't even touch. I'll be like, oh, you hired. All right, what we got? What's going on? All right, what you got? What you got available? You know what I mean? Because if you can get access to lows that I can't get to, then yeah. But if you can go in the low board, I can go in the low board. It ain't hard.
There you go.
It ain't hard at all.
So so what can you do different? Basically, that's what the carrier is saying. And the gentleman that you're listening to now, for those of you who are guests, is a carrier. He's actually driving on a road under a load right now in my training, talking to us, giving us a carrier's perspective. So this is real live training. You're hearing from a real carrier. So telling you how to talk to carriers if you are trying to get a carrier under agreement, because one of the questions the carrier is going to ask you is, okay, what can you do that's different than all these other 5,000 dispatchers out here or the loads I can do myself?
Yeah, I was dealing with Freak for You for a while. These guys, they're pretty big, right? But the only difference is, like, the lows I was on the load board. I think I was using DAC at the time. And before I shut it down, I was on the load board. He's I'm like literally listening to this guy talk, right? And I'm on the load board and I pulled up my area that I was in. He's reciting all the loads that I'm looking at.
Right.
What am I paying you for?
Angela,
I can do this myself.
Angela just asked, she said, Smooth, what do you look for in a dispatcher?
Personality, communication. You gotta have a personality, and we have to talk whether you're, single, married, whatever. We have to communicate. You understand what I'm saying?
Can I answer? I want to answer part of that for you. Being able to reach you when I need you, especially 2 o'clock in the morning when I need a lunch or two check.
You're going in and out, bro.
I said being able to reach you when I need you, especially 2 a.m. in the morning when you need a lump or a T-check code.
My reception must be down. I barely hear you. No, my reception up. You got me on loudspeaker? Put the phone closer to your mouth.
Yeah, I'm here. I got it right here. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, because you was going in and out real bad.
I was saying that the being able to reach you at 2 and 3 in the morning when I need a T code from a T-check.
Yeah, you still going in and out, bro.
Let me take you off mute. How about? Can you hear me now? Okay, I was saying a part of that question, the answer for Angela was, she said, when you look for the dispatcher, I was saying being able to reach you at 2 in the morning when you need a T code, a T check from a lumper. Yeah. Yep.
Barely hear you.
I got you on speaker.
Oh, you crystal clear now. I can hear everything.
Okay, I was saying being able to hear you, being able to reach you at 2 in the morning when you need a T code from a lumper feed. Did you hear that? I lost him. So Smooth said, so yeah, you have to build a report, Latrice. That's a good point. Yeah, build a report. He's going to call back. He's probably in a bad area.
I lost signal. Charles, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you good now.
Okay, part of that.
My darn signal.
What do you look for in a dispatcher? I was saying being able to reach you at 2 in the morning when I need a T-check code from a lumper fee.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. You remember that? I remember that.
Yeah, you called me.
Oh, man.
So what do you look for in a dispatcher? Yeah, build a report.
I mean, yeah, you gotta build a rapport. You gotta be, you gotta be available. You have to be available. I may be stranded somewhere and need your help for a T-check code or something that I don't have the information for. You know what I mean? And you can call them and work everything out. That's your job.
So let me ask, for those who are guests, beginner dispatchers, or those who don't know what a T-check code is, when your carrier goes to a shipper to pick up a load or goes to a receiver to deliver a load, the individuals at the shipper and receiver who loads the truck at the shipper or unloads the truck at the receiver, those individuals, they may charge a fee for that service. Sometimes that service is free and it's included in the rate. Sometimes it's not. When it's not included in the rate, those people in the warehouse on those forklifts unloading and loading that truck, they charge a fee for that. That's called lumper, Lumper. It's a lumper fee. And sometimes the shipper or the receiver, they'll either take the cash or credit card, or they just strictly require the broker to send them some type of code in order to pay for that fee. In the case with Smooth and I a while back, he called me I think it was 2 or 3 in the morning. Was it, Smooth?
Yes.
And the fee, I think it was $140. So with so with a lumper fee, what you got to get 3 things. You got to get the name of the facility. You have to get the tax ID of that facility, the tax ID form, and then you got to get the amount of the lumper. And then you tell the broker. It was Coyote at the time. They had a 24-hour customer service line. I called them. I gave them the information. They produced that T-code, T-check, whatever T-code. I texted to Smooth. He gave it to the person at the window, and he was good to go. That's how that works.
And they will not release the bills until they get their money. The driver is not going to get those bills at all.
Right.
You know what I mean? So until you get that code to get paid those guys, and it's all a scam. It's a scam, bro. Listen, why do I gotta pay you for unloading your stuff? It's yours.
Right.
You want to have me pay to unload your stuff? Oh, man, it's a scam.
So
that's another way to make money.
Right. So Angela asked, so the brokers are responsible for lumpers?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Brokers are responsible. Sometimes just to get out of a situation, I'll pay it and those guys reimburse me.
Right.
But then I'll be looking at I pull the money out the ATM, so I got a surcharge or whatever the case may be.
Right.
Like $3. I charge it to their ass too.
Right.
Yeah, I charge them everything. Anything I can charge them for, I charge them. And then they get mad at me talking about I'm being petty. No, I'm not. You petty because you wanted me to pay for everything. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
They may get cop a little attitude, but I don't give a shit.
Right.
I don't care. I don't care. So you got to be hard and firm. Be cordial, but let them know. Listen, I'm not. No, I can't do that to my driver. Because that'll fuck him in the long run. And if you fuck a driver in the long run, he's on operator. You may not hear from him ever again.
Right.
And it's hard to come past trucks, believe me. A dedicated truck is hard to come past trucks.
Right. Right. And that's a good dispatcher teaching tool to know. It's hard to come across good when you get in a relationship with a carrier and you're running loads and keeping them steady. Try to keep that relationship going. Don't break it with bad communication or whatever you're doing or you did to break that. Try to fix that bond because like Smooth said, it's hard to get that back. Because when you first get your initial carrier under a dispatch agreement, you're at the beginning stages of that. relationship building rapport process. So you got to build that up. How do you build that up? Well, you steady finding loads, booking loads, you know, getting good rates for the loads. So over time, as you're doing that on a consistent basis, time is passing, you're building that relationship. That's how it's done. It's done one load at a time, one good paying load at a time. That's how you build that relationship up.
Yeah. Like, I haven't worked with all your students, but you did a hell of a job with LaWanda. She's like really good at it. Really, really good at it, you know?
Yeah.
The calls in the morning, being a people's person, getting the loads, you know what I mean? Definitely grade A.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So
definitely grade A. So
that's the advice that other dispatchers, if we can take LaWanda's formula and put it in a bottle for everybody to follow, because it's a proven formula. I got a carrier on the phone now who had a dispatcher that provided him with proven service that was satisfactory. So if we can,
at any time, if she ring my phone and I need a favor, I need a low rent, I know it ain't no bullshit money on the table. That's
right.
How much I trust her.
Right.
That's how much I trust. I know her joint start at damn near 275 to 325. I know I'm gonna be in that range. So I done got so comfortable with LaWanda at one point in time to where as though I didn't even ask the rate. I just like, all right, well, where am I picking up? Where am I dropping off to?
And that's what it should. And that's how it should be. But again, keep in mind though, it has to build up to that, right?
Y'all, when we first bumped in, I'm like, all right, where am I going? What's the rate? Where am I picking up from? What's the temperature I quitting? But now, you know, watch her like a hawk.
But you're doing what a carrier is supposed to do. You're filling your dispatcher out.
Yeah, no doubt.
Right.
No doubt.
I mean, it's a give and take. It's a give and take with dispatching and carriers. You have to fill each other out, and then once you build that relationship up, now the trust comes in.
Exactly. I used to do you the same way.
Exactly.
And then I got to the point where I ain't even asking more questions like where I'm picking up, where am I dropping off at?
There you go.
Know what I mean?
Enough said.
And another thing to the dispatchers that's online or whatever, you're not going to be able to make every driver happy. Some of these guys are hard to get along with, so don't think it's you. It could be them. You understand what I'm saying? They sit here and whine and cry about it. Have you ever had any drivers like that, Charles?
Yeah, not anymore. But yeah. And I try to.
You know what I mean?
Right. I try to tell.
It is not working out.
Right. I try to tell dispatcher but you know, you have beginner dispatchers. Sometimes they want to get that first driver that they're willing to tolerate that nonsense. I say, look, there's too many drivers out here to deal with this person for this amount of time. Cut ties with this person because it's less stressful, and then go find another driver. You know, because you got one carrier who say, okay, you found him a good paying load for a dry van. Now, mind you, a dry van, a 53-foot dry van, you find him a 3-hour load. No, I want 325. What?
Yeah. Some dudes are hard to get. I got a friend of mine. He drives trucks as well, but he's like damn near 62, 61 years old. He's up there in age, but that's my good friend. Yo, if he would have a complaint about everything, like he's just one of, that's him, and I love him for who he is. You know what I mean? I love it. But with a dispatch, he give y'all a run for your money.
Right. So you have to. So as a dispatcher, you have to understand, guys, the equipment type, what the average cents per mile, the average range of what's being paid to that particular equipment type. What's being paid cents per mile to a dry van? What's being paid cents per mile to a flatbed? What's being paid cents per mile to a reach?
Did you show them that shows them everything and it's free.
Right, the hot market trend lines.
Yeah, that joint.
Yeah. So let me pull that up.
That'll give you, like a crystal ball. It'll give you a little insight. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
That'll give you a little insight to where as though you can go back and forth with the broker now. You know what I mean? Because you got it right in front of your face. You're looking at the rates within that area, southern rates, northern rates, west coast, all that good stuff.
Right. So this is what Smooth is talking about. For those who see my screen, I got it up, Smooth. DAT trend line.
Yeah, that's y'all.
So for the reefer, we do reefer rates, and it shows it across the states and everything, cents per mile. So right here, and I'm doing it for the reefer right now. So the Northeast is like right now it's like $2 a mile, like in the Southeast. The Northeast is $1.92. Midwest is like $2.53 a mile. Out in the mountain areas and the Pacific is $2.17, and then in the Southwest, like Texas and that area, it's like $1.98 for the reefer. So
yeah, that's to give you a ballpark.
Right. So then I switch it to flatbed and do the same thing for the flatbed, and you see that it's going to change colors. It should change colors, and it did. So now you can compare and you can determine what equipment type you want to go off of based off of the national flatbed rates. Now it's a different color, and for the same areas, there's different numbers, and you do the same for the dry van. So this is DAT trend lines. So I can
that's a very handy tool.
It is. I can. I'm going to copy and paste this and put it into the chat area, so guys can have it. I think I've done it before, but yes, you can see.
I mean, just a refresher.
Yeah, it gives you a. I guess you could say it gives you a baseline to go off of when you start negotiating rates. You can see what cents per mile is paying for the area that you have your truck in. So.
Yeah, that'll definitely work.
So there you go. All right, so
I'm ready to pick me up something to eat, man. My stomach touching my back right now. Straight up.
Well, brother, I appreciate your time. I'll go ahead and let you.
No problem, man.
I'll let you
me
go.
Up at any time, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm always out here.
Okay.
All right, man. Peace.
All right. All right, guys. Any questions? Any more questions about that? Let's Ishmael. Let's see. Unmute yourself, Ishmael. I can unmute you. And anyone else have any questions? Did everybody get some good information from Smooth? Just from a dispatcher's, from a real carrier, advice to dispatchers and how to approach other carriers, and some general information in the 101 training just to give you an idea of what to expect. And it's realistic. You have to be kind of assertive when you're dealing with the brokers, even with the carriers, knowing what you have an understanding, knowing what you're talking about. Dispatcher 101 provides you a foundational resource and tools to get you up to speed, so when you do talk to carriers, you'll have the jargon that you need for them. When you do talk to brokers, you'll have the jargon that you need for them. So let me see, Ismail, if I can unmute you. Let me see if I can unmute you, because I think you was working on a load, and I think also Steve, he's coming back to a carrier. We're going to try to see if we can find something for Steve in the near future. Brother Wash, can you unmute yourself? Let's see, Steve is on. Ishmael, let me hit Ishmael. Ishmael.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yes, Tom.
How you doing?
All right.
How was that information from that real carrier?
And
did you get some good information from the carrier?
Oh, are you talking to me?
Yes, yeah. You're the only one. I got you unmuted.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that conversation was very, very interesting, and the part that was really interesting is when you see a price on a specific load board, and then you have to try to, like add a couple of $100. Like, for example, the reefer load that was on the load board, and it was going for like what, 2,500.
Right. Right. So and what I did too is, now if you got a reefer load, now you got a certain state that you're looking in, and you see this cents per mile. You can go back to your load board, see that 2,500, compute that cents per mile, and see if it matches or comes near the national rates for that equipment type. So that'll give you a baseline. So when you go back to the broker and negotiate, you'll have an understanding of what the rates is for the area that you have your carrier in for that specific equipment type. So now you can see whether the broker is trying to take advantage of you, because now you have a resource here to go off of, and then you have your. So let's do an example, right?
Yeah.
You had your.
Sorry if I break in. Just before you give the example, I heard that some of the brokers do like double brokering. Like for example, Coyote will get a load from C.H. Robinson, and then they'll try to like rip you off. Not rip you off, but they're trying to make money from that. So maybe the initial load was going for $3,000, but then they'll try to put on their side for like 27 or 2,500, and they making money out of you.
Right. Yes, that's very true. Yes. Now that's double brokering. That's illegal, right? You have something that's called double brokering. There's two terms, and a lot of people think that those terms are synonymous. But you have double brokering, and then you have what's called co-brokering. Co-brokering is you have, they still involve two brokers in both cases, double brokering and co-brokering. But what it is co-brokering is where you have one broker who has all the trucks. They may have an asset-based brokerage. They have all their trucks. And then you have another broker who has all the loads from the shippers. They come together and book loads, because I got all the trucks. I'm a broker with all the trucks. You're a broker with all the shipper loads. So let's come together, and I'll use my trucks to book loads with your shippers, and that's okay. Double brokering is where the example you just said, you may have one broker who put out a load for $3,000. You may have another broker who undercuts that load or gets that load for $3,000, but they put it out to their network of carriers for $2,700. So they'll get a carrier who book it for $2,700, but then they'll go back to the broker who initially put it out for $3,000 and get it for $3,000, but pay the carrier $2,700, and then they pocket the $300, the difference.
Yeah.
You see, so they're a brokerage. They're dealing with another broker and say, hey, I got a carrier over here who wants that load for, $3,000. The broker will pay that $3,000, but they're really selling that load to the carrier for $2,700. So that's double brokering. Co-brokering, again, is one broker has all the trucks, another broker has all the loads, and they come together. Okay?
Yes.
All right. So the carrier that you were working on, or you're trying to work on, what equipment type was that carrier?
Oh, the guy, it's a 53 van.
Okay. And where was that van based out of? What area of the country were they in? What city and state?
And to be specific, it's the screenshot I sent you the other day, right? The guy that I was speaking to. Is that the
right?
One? Yeah, he is in Texas. He's in Texas.
Do you remember what city?
Dallas.
Okay. Now that's a good city to be in Texas. Texas is and he's a dry van, right? 53-foot dry van. Did he want to stay in Dallas, or was he willing to go anywhere?
Yeah, he told me Oklahoma, Tennessee, Houston.
Okay. So now what I'm doing here, guys, is for the next, I guess, half an hour or so, I'm using this load board here. This is Internet Truck Stop, and it's going to be available for those members who are subscription-based members of this platform, Dispatcher 101 Training for Beginners. They'll have access to this load board, as well as the other load board. But this is one of the higher-end load boards, this and DAT Trucker's Edge. I got another login for DAT Trucker's Edge that I'm going to extend to the subscription-based members of Dispatcher 101. Right? So, Steve asked, do I know when what, Steve? The login? Yeah, I'm going to be emailing shortly within the next few days. I think you already have. Which one do you not have, Steve? Because I think I gave you one already. You have the new DAT login, so you need a new Internet Truck Stop login. Okay. All right, got you. So what I'm going to do is when I send out, I'm going to log into my my spreadsheet of subscription-based members and send both logins, email both logins to you, and then I'll put in the body of the email that this is for you, not to share it with anyone and things like that. You guys will still have access to the other load boards, but you're getting this on top of it because you're paying a subscription. So, all right?
Oh, so you said that you're going to share the details for TruckStop?
Yeah. For those members of Dispatcher 101 who are paying subscriptions so you joined the platform for the regular price, but then after August 1st, members who joined, they're also paying a $39.99 a month subscription. For those members, right, so once you join, the date that you join, the very next month later, that's when the subscription kicks in. So say you join August, right, so say you join August 1st, then September 1st, you'll get an invoice for $39, October, November, so on and so forth. So, okay. Let's see. Internet Truck Stop, I think there's a certain number. I'm still talking with them. There was a security breach on the other side, but I don't want to have it too many. I want to be at least about 20, Robert. So what I may do, I may get different logins of Internet Truck Stop and, and have like 20 per each separate login to maintain, to stay within that security breach where it won't be too many people logging in to one at one time, one specific login. I understand your question, Robert. Okay, so here's the load board, Internet Truck Stop. We're going to use Ishmael as an example. His guy, origin, Dallas City, state is Texas. Equipment type, EQ stands for equipment. Equipment type, and equipment type is what type of truck that the owner-operator is driving, whether it's a dry van, flatbed, or a reefer. There are other equipment types, but again, for the beginner dispatchers, we want to focus on the three main ones starting out. So as you learn the processes, then you can change and switch up your equipment types later on downstream. But you want to learn the basics under the equipment types that move the most freight, so you'll have a better chance of getting this easier, right? So that's why I focus on 53-foot dry vans, 53-foot flatbeds, and 48 to 53-foot flatbeds, and then 53-foot reefers. So destination will leave open. But you said Oklahoma,
Tennessee, Houston.
Right. So since you're giving me different states, I'm going to go to the over here and do new search, so it opens up another window, so it gives me more options to go by. So again, origin is Dallas, Texas, and this is recorded, so we can go back and look at it. And what's his deadhead? What's his deadhead radius? 100 miles, 50 miles?
Let us say 100 miles. He never gave me any specifications, but let us just say 100 miles.
Okay. And then we're going to hit multi-states for multiple states. So we'll click that checkbox. It's going to open up another window. So what was those states again?
And all right, Tennessee.
Okay, Oklahoma. You said Oklahoma, Texas, Tennessee,
Houston.
Houston is in Texas. So.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I think so. Those are the only two states you gave me. Sorry.
So Oklahoma, Texas, and Tennessee?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll hit select after you're done selecting your states. We'll just hit select, and it's going to put them there. We're going to choose the equipment type again. It was a dry van. I'll just hit V for van, and it'll select it. We'll just put a pickup day. We'll just say Friday, the end of the week. This is just an example, okay?
Yeah.
We're going to leave everything else is the same because there are no specifics that we want to go into detail. Anytime, and the mode is any. Mode meaning what type of, is it a truckload? Is it a less than truckload, intermodal, partial? We want to say any. That way it broadens our search results if you just leave it as any, okay? And then we're going to hit add to my search and close. So we're going to search. So now right here it is, Dallas, Texas, within 100 miles, picking up on the 20th, which is Friday, going to the state of Tennessee, Oklahoma, and Texas. You got 29 of them total, right?
Yeah.
So over here, I'm going to hit the check. Well, it's already opened up. So if I hit this, it's going to close the window. If I hit it again, it's going to open it up. 29. It groups it right now 10 per page, but I'm going to say 50 so I can see all 29. So now it opens it up, and let me scroll down a little bit. Okay. The next thing I usually do, I usually click the rate columns link to put it in order of highest paying to lowest paying. So there we go, right? Now you see the high, at least the ones that's showing the rate. If you see loads that don't show the rate, doesn't necessarily mean that those rates are lower than or higher than this. You just gotta call the broker and see what that number is. You gotta negotiate, right? So here, this top one, picking up in Texas and going to Texas. So it's within the state, picking up in Hawkins, Texas, which is 90 miles, deadhead from Dallas. It's within that 100-mile radius. This is how you read this. This is the name of the broker company. This is their phone number. This is the trailer that they had. Is either a VR stands for van or reefer. Age means how long this load has been posted on this load board by this broker. It's been posted for 7 hours and 31 minutes. Okay? The mode is a type of load. TL stands for truckload. You got LTL for less than truckloads. You have partials. In this case, is a lot of TL, truckloads. When it's available for pickup, it's 9/20, which is Friday. The originating city is picked up in is Hawkins, Texas, which is, again, the distance from Houston or Dallas, 90 miles. Where is it going? The destination city and state. It's going to Beaumont, Texas, which is 215 miles between Hawkins and Beaumont. Yeah, that's the loaded miles. So from the time you pick it up from the shipper in Hawkins, Texas, to the time you deliver it to the receiver, that loaded mile distance is 215. So now, to calculate the cents, how do you calculate cents per mile? How do you get your CPM?
You divide.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you divide the amount of money to the miles, to the loaded miles.
Okay, so the amount that it's paying, the rate, $5.50, divided by the loaded miles, 215. Now, some people will add their deadhead, if it's outside of their radius, to that loaded miles to get a lesser cents per mile. I'm not going to do that in this case. I'm just going to say $5.50 divided by 215 equals $2.50, we'll round up, $2.56 per mile, right? And that's in Texas, right? For a dry van. So let's go to our resource. You can see my screen over here for the, let's select dry van, right? And select the van rates. The national rates for the dry van. National van rates. Let's go down here. In Texas, which is in this region right here, is on average $1.72. So your load is actually above average $2.56 right now for that load. So that's a decent load to consider, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, so do you think that's like a good load? Like Or maybe can you still negotiate and say, hey, let us.
You can say I wouldn't push it too far, but you can say 600. But if you check against the national average according to that for that equipment type, which is a dry van, which is what we selected in that particular region, that area, right? $1.72 per mile on average coming from Texas. Yours is, now let's do this. Let's add that 90 miles, that 90-mile deadhead into this 215 and then divide that into 550 and see if it gets us closer to that $1.72. So let's give it a true dead mile. So 215 plus the 90, if we're going to include our deadhead miles. So now you're going to be below that average, because if you take 550 and divide it into, or divide it by 305?
Yeah.
So you're still above the national. The national is $1.72. You're literally right at that, right? $1.80. So even if you included your deadhead miles in your cents per mile calculation, right, you are still at that average. You see what I just did there?
Yes.
Any questions about that? And this is a nice resource to use. I think I put the link into the chat for DAT trend lines, where you can see the trends for specific equipment types, right? So that was the van rates. Now let's look at the capacity, the van capacity. National van, dry van means dry van, demand and capacity. So basically, the darker the color, I'm just going to break it down to you because it gives you a load L to T ratio, load to truck. So you want to have more loads and less trucks in a certain region. That means that there's more loads than there are trucks in that particular area. So the greater chances you get the load, the chances of you getting the load in that area are greater when your load to truck ratio is higher. You follow?
Yes, so there's more loads in a specific area than trucks.
Than trucks to cover those loads. So the darker the color, the more loads to truck ratio. The more the load to truck. And this is for a specific equipment type. This is for the van. You could do flatbed demand and capacity. You could do reefer demand and capacity. So now if you notice, in Texas, there's more trucks than there are loads. You see that number? There's only 1.1 to 2.5. There's more trucks than there are loads in Texas. So it's going to be harder. So that's even more of a reason for you to consider to take this load out of Texas, because there are more trucks. Because if you think about it, somebody's going to grab it because there's a lot of trucks out there. So if you come across a load that's paying on average above the national rate for that area, for that equipment type, then you should consider taking that, especially if your truck to load to truck ratio is showing that there are more trucks than there are loads. You might want to jump on that real quick if you come across a load that's paying above your national average for that equipment type. I hope I'm not confusing you guys with that, but that's how you look at it. And the darker the color, now you, like in California, for a dry van, you got more loads than you do trucks. So you shouldn't have a hard time finding loads for a dry van in California. Now, depending on whether, so if you were smart, you would say, okay, well, look, for a dry van, I can find my loads in California. If I got a carrier under a dispatch agreement whose home base is in California, if I look at the dry van demands and capacity, I can send my dry van to another area that has a high load to truck ratio and, just keep them moving back and forth. At least I know I can have loads for them. Or maybe I send them over here to Indiana and back to California, or Indiana over here, or over here, because there's loads over here, according to the DAT trend line. So send your carriers with specific equipment types to the states whose load to truck ratio is high. So you can use this hot market map as a resource to help keep your carriers in the states where there are more loads than there are trucks. You follow?
Yeah.
And this is drive-ins. Let's go to reefers. Let's go to what Smooth had. So Smooth is a reefer. This is the reefer map. This is the load to truck ratio for the reefer. So let me bring this down.
What are the most type of, like, sorry, let me put it this way. Which are the most, what type of, what do you call, I don't know, man. What type of vehicle do you like mostly dispatch? What is the most common, like?
What you ask? Are you trying to ask what are the most the common equipment types that I dispatch?
Sorry, that's the word I was using. Yeah, what is the most common equipment that you dispatch or whatever?
Well, the three that I'm showing you now: the dry vans, the flatbeds, the reefers. Now, of those three, the ones that pay, the reefers pay and the flatbeds pay more so than the dry vans. But between the flatbeds and the reefers pay more than the reefers, and also with the reefers you're going to have more overhead because you got to, not only are you dealing with fuel with the truck, but you're dealing with maintenance of the reefer unit, the TCU, the temperature control unit. You got to keep that up to date too because it's pumping out it's pumping out energy to keep the trailer of that reefer cooled because you got freight in there that needs to stay cool to a certain temperature continuously while it's under that load being ran from the shipper to the receiver. So there's a lot of overhead with that. With the flatbed, there is not. You just put stuff on the flatbed and you go. You don't even have to go to a loading dock with a flatbed. You just pull into a yard. They come out there with a forklift and offload your flatbed and you're gone. You don't have to wait 2 and 3 hours in detention as much as you do. You do have detention with flatbeds, don't get me wrong. But you don't have to wait just as long as you do with the reefer and the dry van trailers. With a flatbed, you just pull into that yard, especially with lumber, steel rebar, pipes, stuff like that. So, but to answer your question, yeah, the equipment types are the flatbeds, the reefers, and the dry vans in that order. Okay.
All right. But sorry, do you have like a team? Where would how's your talking for?
Do we say hot shot? Latrice just asked a question about where would hot shot trucking fall under. Hot shot trucking fall under the flatbed category, but a hot shot truck is, what a hot shot is, for those who don't know, is you have a pickup truck, which is not commonly referred to as a dually, and it's either a Ram or a Dodge or a Ford or whatever, a 25 or a 3500 Dodge dually truck. Dually means there's 2 wheels on each side of the axles, and you attach to that a trailer up to 40-foot trailer with ramps, right? You attach a 40-foot trailer. It could be less, 40 foot or less. It could be 36 feet with 5 feet or 5-foot extended ramps or whatever to that. And that's called a hot shot. Let me show you what I'm talking about as an example of a picture. If you guys can see my screen. Hot shots usually run either, you can run cars with that, you can run LTL freight, expedited stuff. Hot shot trucking. I'm just looking for a picture so you guys can get an example of what it is. Okay. Okay, this is I'm not gonna play the video, but I can show it to you if they won't play it. I'll just pause it.
This is the story of how...
Or not. But it's a pickup truck with a, because, you know, when you play YouTube videos, there's commercials. Let's see, how to become a hot shot. I just want to see a picture of a hot shot truck. That's all I need to see, so I can give you that. I explained to you what it was, but I want to show you a picture of it as well. So let me close this. Let me log out of this, because probably my bandwidth is there we go, right there. All right. That's a perfect picture right there once it pops up. If it decides to pop up, if it blows up. This is a hot shot. This is what a hot shot looks like. It's a pickup truck, a dually pickup truck with a 40-foot trailer. Now, this is not 40 feet. This is probably about 30 feet. But 40 feet is extra 10 feet long, with a 40-foot, up to 40-foot trailer attached to it. That's what a hot shot is. And it falls under the flatbed category because this trailer is a flatbed trailer. So it's like a miniature flatbed, but it falls up under that category of flatbed. All right. So that's what that is. And you see, hot shots carry just about anything. You can carry cars, you can carry helicopters, you can carry just about anything with it. Okay? And you get it from A to B. I didn't want a YouTube video. I just wanted a
picture.
A picture. Yeah, keep showing me YouTube videos. I don't want to take up my bandwidth. At up to 30,000 pounds. You see that's pulling 30,000 pounds there? See, this one this is a hot shot, has 1, 2, 3, 4 cars. So if you're doing car hauling and you're making about $300 to $400 a car, there's your $1,200 to $1,600 for that load right there for 4 cars. And if you go on like load board, like for auto hauling, one's called Central Dispatch. That's probably one of the most common load boards for auto hauler that people use for hot shots to find loads. But you got to be careful on. Don't let anybody tell you different. You got to be careful on Central Dispatch load board because number one, there's a stringent criteria to get approved for it. Number two, if you don't know what you're doing, you can easily be banned. So be mindful of that. So I don't care what information you get from anybody else. I'm speaking from experience, and I can call another carrier and give you the same information. Just be careful on Central Dispatch. You have to know what you're doing, and you got to go through a certain process to get approval. So that's my free advice to you for that. Okay? But that's what a hot shot is. Okay? So use your resources, use your trend lines, DAT trend lines and DAT the demand and capacity, so you can see. Let's go to flatbeds. Since we were talking about hot shots, let's go to the flatbed. Let's first look at the rates for the flatbeds in the regions of the country. These are zones, actually. They're called zones because they're made up of multiple states in a particular zone. So this may be zone, I think they're either numbered or lettered. Maybe zone 1 or A, 2 or B, 3 or C, so on and so forth, right? But they're made up of different states, and each zone has a particular cents per mile. So that's under flatbed, under the national rates. Now, if you check the demand and capacity, what that means is what is the load to truck ratio? Are there more loads than there are trucks available in that particular state? That's all that means, demand and capacity. So if you look at the scale here, the chart and how to read this, the darker the color means that there are more loads than there are trucks. So the load to truck ratio, so basically when it says 18 plus, so for every truck there's at least 18 loads available. That's how you read that, right? So for every truck there's 18 plus loads in that particular state of Oregon. That's how you read that, okay? So for every truck there's about between 8.3 to 17.9 loads per truck in this particular state, which is Wyoming. It's abbreviated, WY. So you guys follow that? That's how you read that. Okay? That's literally how you read that. So the darker the color, there are more loads per state. I mean, more loads per truck for that state. That's how you read it. So if you had a flatbed carrier, you would want to send them to the darker, maybe back and forth to the darker color states, and essentially virtually setting up yourself a dedicated lane. You might keep them local. Here's 2 states right here who have 18 plus load to truck ratio. So you can send your flatbed carrier. You shouldn't have a problem finding loads going back and forth here, over here, here, and back. You can even send them over here and back over here.
Let us check for the drive-in maybe.
Drive-in. I thought we did that first, but we can. Let's do drive-in demands. So now you're starting to catch on, Hassan. So now it's giving you an idea of where to send your carriers, right? So where is your carrier? Where is your drive-in carrier? He's based in Texas?
Yes.
Okay. So if I were you, I would send him from Texas to. So for Texas, you got 1.1 to 2.5 loads per each truck. That's a pretty low load to truck ratio. But send him over here. He has a better chance of finding a load in Arkansas, and then sending him back and forth to Arkansas to Mississippi, or Arkansas over to Indiana and back. So now you're sending him to, or even out to California, depending on how far he wants to drive. So now you see how the thinking of a dispatcher can come in. You got to first see what your carrier wants, what is his carrier profile dictates. You know, he only wants to go to certain states. So if he only wants to go to certain states, then you're going to keep him close to home where he wants to go. But then you go to your trend lines, right, your DAT trend lines resource, and you see what the hot markets is telling you right now. And this is current. This updates. This is a dynamic website. It updates all the time. So maybe next week the colors may get darker in different states based off of movement of freight and different loads. Maybe shippers are not sending out load, and it's seasonal in some states. You know, things change, seasons change, loads change, they move. You know, some states may stop moving loads out more so than others, so it may dictate a change in color, you know, across the board. So be mindful of that. Look for that too. But as a dispatcher, these are some of the resources you might want to look. So when you're planning routes for your carriers, you can factor in, okay, what's the load to truck ratio for the state that my guy is in for that particular equipment type. And then what's the national rates for that? So we're focusing on Arkansas. So what's the national rates? Let's go back to the drive-in. Let's look at the national rates for that area. So now you get an idea of how to plan routes for your guys and keep them running. $1.72 per mile. Your carrier may not want to hear that, but if you can keep them running steady at $1.72 a mile both ways, they're going to make money. So any questions about that time? Got about 5 minutes. I appreciate the it's about 10 of us in here. Welcome all the guests. Those of you who are guests, thank you for tuning in for a little bit. I guess it's lightweight training, but you know, Smooth did a lot of the talking, but that was good because you got a realistic view from a carrier, a real carrier, giving you a carrier's perspective, telling you about brokers, telling you about what they look for in dispatchers. So now, for those individuals who want to be dispatchers, when you go after carriers, try to consider some of the comments that this carrier said when you're approaching your carriers to try to get them under a dispatch agreement. Or for those of you who already have carriers, maybe you are a husband and wife team, try to utilize some of the concepts earlier that was spoken of to find loads or to use when talking to brokers or shippers or however. This is a recording that's going to be on our website for members to go back and view it. I may put this on YouTube as well under the YouTube channel, make it visible, because a lot of my recordings are unlisted, only can be seen by members. But I may make this one public so people can see it. Those of you who are guests, thank you. If you're interested in Dispatcher 101 training for beginners.
If I may say something.
Yes.
I was just going through the videos and there was something called like a sub-dispatch giveaway, but I didn't understand it. And
what the sub-dispatcher concept is I come across some of my carriers who I dispatch for. Well, I'm getting to a point where I'll go to some of my carriers and say, hey, I may not have time to find loads for you on a consistent basis like I used to because I'm doing other things now, but I have people who are enrolled into a platform that I am doing, Dispatcher 101, who are learning how to be dispatchers and learning how to, dispatch like I do. Will you be willing to let them dispatch, under Exodus, which is Exodus Logistics, as sub-dispatchers, and then we just split the percentage, So if you sub-dispatch under Exodus and you book loads for one of my carriers, it's not your carrier, you didn't find the carrier, but it's one of my carriers, so you don't have to find the carrier, you don't have to go through all that energy and stress. So, I'm sorry?
It's under your platform.
Correct, under the platform. So if you're a beginning person, go ahead.
Like we just more like your assistants. So we are under your umbrella and we're going through your methodology and we just help
Correct.
you out like that.
Correct. And you don't have to be under it forever. You could be under it for a while until you learn, until you get that aha moment, or you get it and you say, okay, Charles, I learned enough. I got my own carrier. Let me go ahead and start dispatching my own carriers and keeping all of my percentage. And that's fine. I'm just offering this alternative to those who are having a hard time perhaps finding their own carriers to at least have a carrier and the opportunity to learn booking loads. You're still going to be booking the loads. You're still going to be finding the loads and doing all the work. We're just going to be splitting the commission because it's my carrier and it's under the Exodus platform. But at the same time, while you're doing that, I would assume that you're still looking for your own carriers. I can't imagine you just being under mine doing sub-dispatching under me and splitting the commission 50-50. At some point, you want to find your own carriers and keep all your commission. My goal is for the sub-dispatching part is for you to just learn that process. So when you do find your own carriers, you can branch off and start, doing it yourself and keeping your own, all your commission, all your 10%. That's the whole goal. It's just a temporary stepping stone for you. You follow?
Yeah. I mean, I get your point. It's just that it's more like a stepping stone, to the bigger, like getting into the industry, and it's like an eye opener,
Yes, correct. Yeah, and it just helps you. It helps you learn the process, because when you become a sub-dispatcher, what I'm going to send you, I'm not going to send you the dispatch agreement of carriers under Exodus. They're already under an agreement. What I am going to send you is their profile sheet, so when you do find loads for them, you will understand how to look for that load because you have their profile. So you'll be able to cater your load search to that profile. And then I'm also going to send you those other documents you're going to need when you call the brokers. Do you remember what those documents are?
Yeah.
What are they?
You mean the ones that are supposed to, what do you call, that you're supposed to get from the brokers?
No, the ones that the brokers ask for all the time when you're booking a load for a carrier.
You mean the carrier
Right.
package? You mean the carrier package?
Well, the carrier packet, when you first, say you go on a load board. Okay, let's do this for example. Say we were on the load board. Say we found this first load. We agreed with it. We wanted the load. So I'm going to open it up. Right?
Yeah.
And hopefully it opens up. There you go. It opened up. And say that you and I, say you're the carrier and I'm the dispatcher, and we both agreed on this load. Call that broker. Let's book this load. So I call the broker. I start that dialogue. Hey, Mr. Broker, what's his name? What's the name of this broker? Right here. Links Logistics LLC. Hey, I want this load going from Fort Worth, Texas to San Marcos, Texas for a drive-in. That load is still available. And I'm asking, this is how I actually talk to the broker. Hey, I'm looking at this load at 475 going from Fort Worth, Texas to San Marcos, Texas. Is that load still available? Yeah, we're interested in that load, but we're trying to get it for like 700. Or, well, I can't give it to you for 700. This is the broker. I can give it to you. Let's say we can do about 650. So I went up way to 700, which is $225 higher than what it's posted for, right? He said he came down to what? $175. He gave me $175 more, $650, right? So we met in the middle. So I'll get it. I'll book. Let's say I booked it at $650. He said, okay, what's your MC number? This is what the broker. This is the dialogue between the broker and the dispatcher. What's your MC number? An MC number is a unique number that's given to all the carriers out here. It's a motor. MC stands for motor carrier. It's given to
DOT. Yeah.
Right. The DOT. Right. The DOT is the Department of Transportation. It's a unique number, and the MC is the motor carrier number. That's a unique number that's given to the carriers by the FMCSA, which is the Federal Motor Carriers Safety Administration, and DOT, which is the Department of Transportation. Each carrier, owner-operator, has a unique DOT and an MC number to identify who they are for those governing bodies in the transportation industry, which is the DOT again and the FMCSA. So you guys know, right? So that's why the broker asks for the person's MC number, because they want to look them up to verify that they are legit. So they say, okay, yeah, let me see you let me see your carrier package so we can get set up with our brokerage. They'll say, who do I need to send this email this to? As the dispatcher, you have them email that to you because you're the dispatcher. You're the middleman between the broker and your carrier. You want to see all the documentation so you can keep up with your carrier on each load as it gets booked, because you need to, because when you invoice the carrier to be paid after they drop that load, you'll have all your documents and proof that they ran that load under your dispatch agreement contract between you and them. They can get paid. So anyway, they send you the carrier packet or the broker carrier agreement. You fill that out. You send that back to them to get set up, along with what are those other 3 documents that we always talk about?
The W-9.
Okay.
Certificate of insurance.
Okay.
And
the MC authority letter.
Oh yeah, the MC authority letter. Sorry.
Right. So why do we need those? Number one, you said the W-9, right? So the W-9 has the carrier's federal ID number or EIN number on it, proving that they are a company, right? So the broker needs that. They need a certificate of insurance because they need to make sure that the carrier has enough insurance to cover what they're hauling. Typically, there are generally 2 types, but there could be more. On a certificate of insurance, that's required. They have required minimums for cargo, which is $100,000, and liability, which is $1 million. And then number 3, the MC authority letter. They want to make sure that they are They have the authority from the FMCSA to run freight either interstate or intrastate. The difference between the two, interstate means you can go over all 48 states. Intrastate, I-N-T-R-A, means you can go within the state of your residence, where you live.
Exactly. I found the other day a guy who said he doesn't have what they call the MC authority to go like all over the U.S. And
right.
Yeah.
Right. The MC gives you the authority to go all over. The DOT gives you the authority to work in intrastate. So if you got just a DOT, that means you just operating within your state. But if you have an MC, then you have the ability to go all over. So they get all this information back, they process it into their system, run it through their compliance, make sure everything's up to date. They'll come back and say everything's approved, your carrier's set up with us. That's the language that they use. Your carrier is set up with us. Let me send you a rate confirmation now. So the load is not booked yet just because you filled out the broker-carrier agreement or the carrier packet and you sent all your documents back and they came back good. That load is still not booked yet. The load is booked once that rate confirmation gets sent to you and you sign it on behalf of your carrier. You go over it with your carrier to make sure everything is good, the numbers are good for the load that they're paying. There are no hidden special instructions and things like that in the rate confirmation. You go over that with your carrier. Once you and your carrier agree to that, you say, okay, carrier say, go ahead and sign it, send it in. Once that's sent in and the broker gets that back, now the load is booked. The broker is also going to call you and say, hey, I need, who's the driver on this load? I need his first and last name, his cell number, and his truck and trailer number. They need that because they're going to do what's called check calls every so often. They're going to call that driver and see where they are. Hey, what's your ETA? Or what's your 20? Where you at right now? Because the broker is tracking that freight because that's one of the requirements they have from their shipper, who's their customer. The broker's customers are the shippers. They get the loads from the shippers. They get paid by the shippers. So it makes sense for the brokers to keep track of that freight, to do check calls to the driver to see where they are. Or if there's any accidents, because they'll tell the driver, you run into any issues, call me. So because they want to let the shipper know in a timely fashion if there's any accidents, if there's a flat tire, something's going on with the truck, things like that. So this is all information. This is all information that you need, and this is good to know. And this is
company.
The factory company comes in if your carrier, when you sign that carrier up to a dispatch agreement, and they send that dispatch agreement back to you. This is when you first getting started as a dispatcher, and you got your first carrier under the agreement. You're gonna send the agreement and profile to them. They're gonna fill it out. You send that back. They send that back to you. You also try to get upfront from them copies of their MC authority, copies of their certificate of insurance and W-9, so you can have in your filing system as a dispatch company. Also, if your carrier has a factoring company already, then you want to get an NOA form. NOA form is a notice of assignment. All that is the factoring company. When you book a load with any broker, you're going to send that NOA form to that broker so the factoring company can run the credit on the broker to make sure that they pay on time. Because if you try to book a load and your factoring company says, hey, this broker's been known not to pay on time, so he's giving your carrier fair warning to decide if they still want to book that load with that broker or not. So it's a safety net for your carrier. That's what the factoring company is. That's one purpose of the factoring company. The other purpose, or the main purpose, is to get paid quicker. They usually pay between 24 to 48 hours. There's different types of factoring. One's called recourse, one's called non-recourse. The difference between the two mainly is if a broker does not pay on time, the responsibility of going after the broker in small claims court and things like that to get that money falls up on the factory company. That's the recourse factory. Non-recourse is the opposite. That means the responsibility falls upon the carrier. That means they got to take time off of driving, go to court, waste money, lose money, because a day not in the truck is a day that you lose money. So you have to understand that. But that comes in time. If your carrier does not have a factory company, now he or she falls to the mercy of the payment options of the brokerage. And remember, typically brokers have, when you're filling out the carrier packet, you're going to see 1 to 3 different payment options if your carrier doesn't have a factory company that's in the carrier packet, the broker-carrier agreement. Broker-carrier agreement and carrier packet are one and the same. They mean the same thing. So the payment options are, and they charge for this service too, the brokers do, the extra percentage. They charge a quick pay, which is a 1 to 2 day, about 5%. They charge a 5 to 7, they do a 5 to 7, what's called a wire transfer, ACH, automated clearinghouse, ACH wire transfer. They charge about 3%. That's the second payment option. And the third payment option is a standard paper check sent to the carrier's place of business or residence where they live. So those are the 3 payment options if your carrier does not have a factory company. So that's to consider there. So, and that comes in time too. You'll learn it as you go. As you do this stuff over and over again, your book loads over and over again, you're going to pick up on this. That's why I'm able to explain it just off the tongue, because I do it so much over and over again. You see the same thing every day. The only thing that changes is the carriers and the different brokers you deal with. But the process, you're going to see all the time. So once you get the process down, it's all about now building the relationships with the carriers and building the relationships with the brokers and putting the 2 of them together. You follow?
Yeah.
All right.
Just one last.
Go ahead.
How do you manage to dispatch for so many carriers? Last time you said you had 40 something.
Well, I mean, outside of the training, I'm building a team. So I don't. Now, mind you, I'm not doing all this by myself. I did starting off. The most I've managed by myself, I would say about 11, literally by myself. But you have to have a team. You'll drive yourself crazy if you don't. You have to have a team, and you have to have a team of like-minded people, like-trained people, And even though I have 30-something carriers, not all of them get dispatched all the time, but they are all available. You see what I'm saying? Not all of my carriers rely on me for loads. Some of them find their own loads. Every now and then I might get a call from one who may be stuck somewhere and say, hey, I need something out of here. Then every now and then there may be some other ones call me and say, hey, what do you got? It's that kind of relationship. And then you have the steady ones that you keep running. So it's a variety, You'll learn that too in time too. It's a variety of different carriers. They'll call you with different needs, or you'll call them and say, hey, where you at? Do you need something? So, all right?
Yeah.
It's good training today. Good training. What do you think?
Yeah, it was quite interesting. I mean, I'll try to bring that same person that I showed you the other day. I'll try to bring him on board, and I don't know. He's going to ask me what percentage I'm going to charge, but that it's going to be up to you, Charles, because I'll try to bring him under your authority, I'll try and see what I can do.
Okay, someone asked a question on here. I was just going back and reading something quick. Does your training include how to get your dispatch business started? Yes, which is not hard. Just get a business license, business name, a legal structure, whether it's going to be a sole proprietorship or LLC. I recommend an LLC, partnership, single member LLC if you're by yourself, or just a standard LLC if you have other people. That's basically it. And then you have your little small expenses, laptop, phone, maybe fax machine, copiers, unless you got e-fax. It's not really that much involved in getting the dispatch business started. Depending on your area where you live, as far as the cost of your business license for your area, articles of incorporation, things like that. It's not really, you can actually YouTube, Google that, and that'll help you out as well. Let's see the other question. A broker asked for the MC number before he gave me the rate. Is that, yes, that's common. That's not only okay, but it's common. Brokers are asking for the MC. That's why it's good to have, prior to calling brokers for a load, make sure that you have your dispatch, you are under a dispatch agreement with your carrier, because sometimes brokers are asking for the MC, look the carrier up and say, hey, the load is gone, but then turn around once you hang up, they'll turn around and call that carrier because they got the number, the phone number based off of the MC that you gave them, and they'll try to go behind your back and book the load without you, with your carrier. I've had a case where a broker did that. My carrier told them, no, call my dispatchers, or, by the way, did my dispatcher not call you? And we actually ended up reporting that broker because that was an unethical practice. So you got brokers that'll do that. All right? Let's see, I'm scrolling back up to see if there are any more questions that I missed. I don't think so. All right, guys. For those who are interested in joining, that's the screen in. This is recorded again. And I'll just put the link to the enrollment feature there. So, and it'll be on Facebook. Unfortunately, Facebook removed the ability to chat. So, but I am trying to integrate on the website a chat feature. I'm playing with different social media chat.
Why can't you?
Go ahead.
Sorry. Like, why can't you try like Telegram? Like, you know. Oh,
I didn't hear the first part. It's kind of choppy.
Okay, why can't you try Telegram? Telegram is a texting app, and it's a bit like
yeah. I mean, I'll take any suggestions, but I'm working with Wix has one called Wix Chat, but I got to deal with my dashboard all the time, and I'm always in the warehouse working, so I can't really do that. I want something similar to Facebook Messenger with the ability to chat in it. I got one called Tidio, 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 and then there's another one I'm working with, Rumble Talk. Rumble Talk was okay. I'm gonna have to put that one back in and see how that goes. So, but we'll see. I'm trying to, and also deal with a community forum too. But we'll see. So. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get this recorded and uploaded to our back office website. Thanks again to the guests. Again, if you're interested in starting your own business, working from home, let me see here. Someone just commented. Let me see what this one before I get off. Ebony. Oh, you're welcome, Ebony. Hopefully everything was answered. Hopefully all the questions were answered. I'll have this uploaded to YouTube and on our internal website as well. All right, guys, until next time, I will see you guys Sunday at 11 unless something changes. And I'll let you guys know. Make sure all the questions are answered here. Let me see. Somebody just made a comment. I like to leave on a clean slate. Great information. You're welcome, Latrice. Hopefully you guys who are guests and members will at least consider joining the platform to get some information about trade. Even if not mine, if you do join a platform, join one that's going to actually show you what it is that you need to do as a beginner dispatcher, all that you need. What are the steps? What in the progression steps? So Ishmael said, "Where is Luanda?" That's a good question. She has about 6 power only trucks that she's doing, so it's keeping her busy. I reached out to her the other day. I'm going to talk to her over the weekend, and I'll give you guys an update. And I may have her come in on Sunday's training just to give you guys a status update.
The first time I came here, she was the active person, and like we were all looking we're looking towards her. We wanted to become like her, and you said a couple of times that she's a very active person, and like.
Right. Yeah, she's active now. She's so active that she's inactive on the trainings because she's so busy with the trucks, which is where I want where I want you guys to be. The trainings is just a point of reference. This is just a point of reference for you guys to come back to, get some information, and then go out there and use the information, and then build that knowledge up to the point where you don't need it no more. You can just come back and just reference every now and then just to see if there's anything new that you need to add to what you already know. And that's where I need you guys to get. I don't expect you to stay in the trainings and plus we have the website. Everything on the website is what you need, and I'm adding more to the website. So the website is a perfect place, especially if you are an enrolled member, a subscription-based enrolled member. You have access to everything that you essentially would need for a beginner dispatcher to learn and go out and do the freight. And then we have all the training videos. All the videos are recorded in the training video area. And then all the modules and orientation and business setup, matter of fact, I got to add to the business setup. And, everything is pretty much there from a basics perspective. So, yeah, I think everything is there. Okay? Have a great get off. Have a good evening. I will see you guys Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. No problem. Don't apologize for taking the extra time. It's fine. We're good. You're welcome.